Nobel. My name is Emily Reinhardt, and we are covering Lighting Their Fires by Ralph Esquith at the Dodgers Field with Cindy, a fellow associate of mine. And thanks for coming and talking to us today. She's going to be covering the pregame with us, and I'm going to follow up with a few questions. You ready?
Yes, thank you, Emily. The book we're talking about today, Lighting Their Fires, is very interesting. Each chapter is based on suggestions by Ralph Esquith, the teacher, and he is no ordinary teacher. The central theme of the book is raising extraordinary children. As you know, these children are not born with these traits, and they are just born with varying levels of intelligence.
Yeah, he helps them acquire these amazing traits.
Yes. And so today, he's at the school, and the school normally ends at 2:19, but daily he stays with his students until 5 p.m.
So he's very, very dedicated.
Very dedicated.
Yeah.
And so today he has tickets to the Los Angeles Dodgers game.
Do you win those tickets?
They were given by another teacher who was given them by a general manager of the Dodgers.
Okay.
Yes. So he has each of the students are going today, the 5 students, and then 5 more students. So he's divided it up, the game, so that all the children will get a chance to attend a game.
That is just wonderful, isn't it?
Yes.
Get them outside of their comfort zone and just, embrace real life. And how did they do that? They incorporate?
Yeah, they incorporated. Actually, he has already taught them how to score the game, and each one of them was required to watch the Ken Burns video on how to score the game, and he's incorporating their batting averages in there.
Using math skills?
Yes.
Very nice.
Yes.
Wow. Are you going to, as you becoming a future teacher, would you incorporate math and other curriculums into the outside world and give them a sense of a different environment?
Yes, I think it's very important that we take them out into different environments. We never know when we're going to be able to create that moment with that child, and they may experience that in a field trip like this.
Right. Wow, that's wonderful. I really enjoyed reading this book as well. It's just so uplifting, and it makes me want to be a dedicated educator as well. How do you feel about that?
I feel more dedicated after reading this book. I really do. I read the entire book. I loved it. And one thing I wanted to mention in the beginning, Sammy was a student here with them that day besides the 5 children. And he was not always an extraordinary child. When he first came there, he was filthy. He had no friends. I mean, no one wanted to be around him because he wore smelly clothes.
And that's the one thing we fear, as educators, those children that we have to reach out to and really set time aside to them, because we might be their only role model, and we have to really focus on that.
Right,
as future educators, correct.
Yeah, so the way the book is written is set up, there's suggestions for making these extraordinary children. As parents and teachers, it's up to us to instill these characteristics in the children.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Angela. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure.
Thanks.
Thank you. Hey guys, and we're back with Angela. She's a good friend of mine and an associate. We decided to bring her in. She's going to discuss the 7th inning with us. How you doing?
Good, Emily. How are you doing today?
Good. It's wonderful to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Would you like to give us a brief description of the 7th inning? I'll probably follow up with a few questions about everything.
Sure.
Cool.
This one was very, very interesting to me. Of course, they were at the game, Rafe and the students and players. And they were at the game enjoying themselves, and there was some men around. They were using profanity, just acting all out. It is, especially around children.
Right.
So naturally, him, Ray, being the teacher that he is, he told the men to stop with the profane language. And of course, naturally, when you're trying to handle the situation, some people think that you're trying to be rude.
And they retaliate.
Yes. And they began even more cussing, even more acting out in front of the students. And Ray, he handled the situation very well. Because, sometimes when people approach us like that and we're just trying to help them out, he could have easily, forgot that his students were in front of him and retaliated back. But he knew that his students were in front of him. and he just handled the situation, and it was good. It was
Well,
good.
if you were ever put in that situation, would you, address the situation, or would you ignore it, or how would you go about that, Angela?
I would address it just like how Rafe did, because children like sponges. We have to be very careful what we say,
you're so right
what
about
we
that.
do in front of them, because we're adults, and to them, to the students or children, period, what we do to them, they think is all right.
Right.
But we have to be very careful.
And they adapt so easily to anything that their role model's doing. And and us being their educators, we could be their number one, for this specific time.
And actually, we are away from home.
You're right.
Think about their parents are trusting us with their children. So it's very important that we not only teach them in the classroom, of course, but when we're out, especially away from the classroom, because we're held responsible for them, and it's our responsibility to lead them down the right path of success, making sure we can't protect them from everything. But the stuff that we can help them with is our responsibility.
Dedicate our time to, right? Well, as you're being a future educator, would you like to take your students out of the classroom? Or do you feel
most
like
definitely.
that's inappropriate?
The examples that are compared to real life, to classroom, is very important.
Right.
Because that's how, as when I was a student, that's how I began to learn. Always being compared to real life experiences.
And you finally grasp the concept of using the tools.
Easier. Yes.
Right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show
You're
today.
welcome. Thanks for having me.
Thanks. Do you have any questions, or do you want to address anything else? Or
Oh, no, that's
wonderful. All right. Well, we'll be back in a minute with Candace. Thanks, guys. Hey, and we're back with Candace. We've already gone over the pregame, the 7th inning, and now we're to the postgame. So just tell me, how did you enjoy the books?
I really enjoyed it. It was really good. It's a good book for an educator to read.
Great. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I feel like it has a lot of great morals, a lot of great steps and suggestions as an educator that we definitely need in our daily lives to succeed. Could you please give me a brief description of the post-game, and we'll follow up on a few questions?
I'm going to pick up where, in the pregame, they were talking about Sammy, the little boy Sammy. I'm going to pick up with Sammy.
Right.
When Ray came back from the Dodgers game, Sammy was on the stairs,
He was at the school, wasn't he? Yeah, he got left, right?
Yes, he was left. And,
tragic.
It's very sad.
And those are definitely things we have to deal with as teachers. Their parents do leave their kids and forget about them, and he took the responsibility on.
Exactly. And
Right.
he offers to take Sammy home, even though Sammy lives across town.
Right.
Rafe was there to grade papers, and he would promise the students about grading. He
And no one likes a student who gets angry when, if you forget to grade, or you promise your students Monday or Tuesday, because they had a holiday Monday.
Yeah.
But Tuesday they were coming back to school, and he promised those grades, and he had to pretty much break into the school, right?
Yes,
he
he
didn't
did.
want to let his students down.
Yes, exactly.
Dedicated, very dedicated educator.
Sammy was actually reading his history book, and he wanted Rafe to take him Monday to put flags on the soldiers' graves. And even though it was a holiday, Rafe agreed to take him. And I think that's dedication. That's very good for your as a teacher.
It's such a special connection that you have with your student. If you go, beyond what you're required. We're required to teach and have them learn.
Yes, you don't have to. He didn't have to take the little boy. He didn't have to take Sammy, but he did, and that's a great thing.
It's a special thing, right? Well, what would you do in that situation? Would you step forward and say, "Hey, come on, I'm taking you home," or would you call his mom, or what would you do if you were in that situation?
I think I would have him call his mom, and then I would tell his mom, "Look, I'll bring him home. Don't worry about it. He's fine. He'll be home in however long it's going to,
Yeah. And if your student were to say, "Hey, let's go put flags on these graves," would you feel like it would be appropriate for you to, or what would you do on that?
I'd call the parent and tell them what's going on, and tell them that I think it's a great idea, and I'm more than happy to take him, and then go from there.
See, we need educators like this. We need dedicated educators who are going to go beyond what they're required, because so many do the little and just the minimum, and that's not what we need, especially for our future, because our students are our future.
Exactly.
Right? Well, we've covered this book, and I would just love to invite Angela and Cindy back on the stage. Come on, ladies, come back on. I just want to let them get a good goodbye. All right. All right, ladies. What was your favorite part of the book? And what made you just, really feel like it's going to take you where you need to be?
Well, my favorite part, not just because I did the part, but my favorite part was when they were, like we discussed, they were at the game and the profanity and everything, and how he handled that, how he talked about his students, and how he thought about how, okay, these men are acting out of the way, my students don't need to hear this, how he took control of it and handled the situation. It was awesome. I really...
He took charge.
He did.
Right.
He did. And that was one of my favorite parts that I'll take to my classroom.
Wonderful, wonderful. Will you take anything to your classroom from this book, Cindy?
I sure will. I have thoroughly enjoyed the entire book. There are so many suggestions in there that I can't mention them all.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you need
Well,
to
you did a
read
wonderful
this
job.
book, and you will see what I'm talking about because it's an extraordinary book.
Right, right. Well, if you want to have any questions, we have on our website all about the book. Thank you so much, and tune in next week. Bye.